Hello, hello, gays, gals, boys, squirrels, and everyone in between. Girl, I gotta retire that YouTube intro. Hey, how y'all doing? I know it's been, what, how many years? 4 years? 4 years since I last uploaded on YouTube. The other day, I was like laying in bed thinking, I was like, I really want to get back in my YouTube era. I don't know why. I work in social media for a living. Like, that has been my day job since I graduated college. And I think that's part of the reason why I like stopped posting on my own social media was because it just felt like a job all the time. Here we are, yet again, years later. If you're new to my channel, hello. This is a safe space for all the girls, gays, and theys. If you're not new to my channel, welcome back. Question mark. And although I haven't been actively posting on YouTube for the past couple of years, I have been editing for other YouTubers over the past couple of years. And if you know, you know. And if you don't know, I don't know, I guess you gotta start going through people's descriptions. For my return video, I feel like my life has changed so much since my last video that was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I figured we might as well start with a brand new Q&A. So I asked my Instagram story the other day, what juicy questions do you have for me? I asked it on both my boy page and my drag page. So let's hop into the questions that y'all wanna know the answers to. Starting off strong, question number 1. Why did I quit Delta? So that is one of the things that changed a lot from the last time I uploaded on YouTube. So about 2 years ago, I was a Delta flight attendant. I had always kind of thought about being a flight attendant in the back of my mind just because I hated working like a regular 9 to 5. Like I hated sitting at a desk all day, every day. And so I randomly went out on a whim and applied to Delta actually twice. And I got a CJO, which is like your job offer from Delta. I got it twice actually after going through all their steps. Both times. The first time I got a job from Delta, I backed out like a week before training. That was like 3 years ago. And then I reapplied the year after that and then got a job offer again and decided, you know what, now's the time. I just gotta go for it. Went through flight attendant training, did the whole kit and caboodle, went to Atlanta for like 2 months to train with Delta Airlines. After I trained with Delta, I got based in Detroit, but I was still living in Las Vegas and my lease was ending in Vegas. And so I was like, well, why not move to a city that I already know that I love and that I already know that I have friends in? So that's why I ended up moving to Dallas, Texas. But ultimately, to answer the question, why did I quit being a flight attendant? I quit being a flight attendant with Delta because of health issues. I was having a lot of issues with my ears when I was flying, which was really interesting because I'd never had ear issues before. Like anytime I'd like travel casually, like before I was a flight attendant, I never had any issues with my sinuses or my ears or anything like that. As a flight attendant, you get sick a lot because, especially in the beginning, your body's getting used to it. You're flying with like hundreds of different people a day. Like you see so many people throughout the day that naturally you're gonna get a little more sick in the beginning until you build your immune system back up. But for me, every time I got sick, my ears would clog. Apparently it's really dangerous to fly with clogged ears. And I learned that the hard way. So it was becoming really painful. I was starting to lose my hearing. There was like a whole bunch of complications that were happening with my ears. And to the point where I had already called out of work twice within my very first month, and Delta has a very strict, like, you can only call out like 3 times a year basically. The big issue was my ears. I quit because of my ears and I miss it almost every single day. Maybe one day I'll get my ears fixed and I'll be able to go back, but who knows? Next question is, what got you into drag? So for those of you who don't know, I think the last time I uploaded on YouTube, I had just started drag, which is really crazy to think about. My drag name is Junie Juice. She is my alter ego. She is my better half, as I like to say. What got me into drag, honestly, was I was always obsessed with femininity growing up. Like I always liked being the girl character in video games. I was always obsessed with like Barbie dolls and Disney princesses and just like girly things that like a guy shouldn't be obsessed with. But I grew up in a household where I wasn't allowed to be feminine. Like I remember all my brothers played sports growing up. I was not really like a sports kid. And I remember even when I came out when I was like 16, something my parents said to me is like, we're more okay with you being gay as a man than being gay and being, what'd they say? They said flamboyant was their specific word. They said, we'd rather you be a gay man than be a flamboyant gay. Make that make sense. But I remember telling my mom like, I think I want to go buy this makeup set, this makeup palette, these makeup brushes, and I want to start practicing makeup. And my mom told me, she said, if you ever come out of your room with makeup on your face, I'm kicking you out of this house. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I like having a place to sleep. I like having a bed to crawl into at the end of every single night. So obviously I didn't ever really wear makeup. After I moved to Vegas, I had this like newfound sense of freedom where I could do literally whatever I wanted. I had a lot of friends that were drag queens, and so I was like seeing them like do their thing, and I was getting like really inspired, like watching them kind of like lock into like this alter ego and be someone else. And I was like, I really want to try that, as every like random gay boy does. And since then I've had actually a really solid drag career. So I ended up being a resident entertainer in Vegas. I moved to Dallas and now I'm a resident entertainer here in Dallas as well. And drag is literally like one of the best things that's ever happened to me in my life. So I'll leave it there. That's more than what the question asked for. So why did I get into drag? Girl, because I'm fat. Next question. Where does your drag name come from, and would there ever be a house of juice? I love this question because I love talking about myself. My drag name comes from ultimately because my boy name is Jordan, starts with a J. I wanted a drag name that all started with a J just because I feel like it goes with each other. The second reason why my name is Junie Juice is because I was obsessed with the Junie B. Jones books as a kid. And when I was trying to find a drag name, I was like, what am I obsessed with? And what do I feel like was a little like cunty, a little feminine? Like what is something that I can really like, you know, bring into this new drag persona that I'm trying to put together? So I went with Junie Juice. Junie from obviously Junie B. Jones. I spell it a little differently, and then Juice because I say my name is Junie Juice because everyone wants a taste. The other option was Little Miss Peach. And second question there being, would there ever be a house of juice? So this is how I feel about drag houses. In Vegas, drag houses weren't really like a big thing. Like it wasn't as big of a thing as it is here in Texas. And this is my take on a drag house. Would there ever be a house of juice? Right now, no. Maybe one day down the line, maybe like far, far down the line. I think that a drag house should be led by a mother that like has a title of some sort. I think a drag mother should have either like ties to pageantry or ties to like big name competitions and really have a name for themselves. I feel like drag mothers should be very established, know exactly what they're doing. And I feel like right now I'm still just kind of having fun with it and kind of going with the flow with my drag. And I feel like right now is just not the time for me to have a house. Any tips for people wanting to start drag? This is turning into a drag Q&A very quickly. My biggest tip for people wanting to start drag is practice. It literally is practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect. I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for putting myself on stage when, girl, I shouldn't have been. You have to know that feeling of failing and kind of, you have to know that feeling of being on stage and looking at the audience and like realizing like, wow, they really don't. I just nodded. You have to be able to be okay with the feeling of knowing that people don't like you. My biggest tips, gotta be okay with not being good, especially in the very beginning. You gotta be okay with learning. You have to be okay with taking advice from other people. You also have to know when to listen to their advice and when to just ignore them. If they look boo with a fool, crusty, dusty, busty, don't listen to them. Because the girls, the ugly girls love to yap about what they think you should be doing. But then you see them perform and it's like, ooh, my pinky toe has more talent. Or they try to give you makeup tips and you say, whoa, girl. Were you the first breakthrough on Stonewall? Like, first time in drag? We're not gonna talk about that. Someone said Elise favorite queen, J. Jolie. Everyone knows that. Someone says, do you miss being a flight attendant and would you go back? I miss being a flight attendant probably almost every single day. Only because the people are really, really great. I became a flight attendant because I said that the world is so big and I always wanted to see like parts of the world that I wouldn't ever really go to on my own. And I do think about going back, but because of my ear issues, I would have to get, according to my doctor, I'd have to get some sort of like ear surgery or get tubes put in my ears. And I don't think being a flight attendant is something that is like really compatible with my life at this moment. Do I think I would go back? Yes, but not right now. Was that all the questions? Okay. I think that's about enough for my first video back. I am so excited to be dipping my toes back in the YouTube water. But no, for real, if you have stuck around for this long, you are one special cookie. If you want to follow me on my other social media, my Instagram is It's Jordan Stewart, TikTok is It's Jordan Stewart _, and my Snapchat is Jorge the Taco 120. Thanks again for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye! If there is a next one.